Alright, so let's get started now. So if you're like me and haven't used Unity at all before, then you're in the right place. So I'm assuming that, like I did a few weeks ago, never used Unity Editor, and that you love playing the Empyrion Galactic game, as I do. Check my background. And you also have a little bit of experience in editing graphics, like you've done stupid things like Photoshop-y kind of things. Right. And so what I'm going to be showing you is how to get started, install Unity, and then we're going to move on to how to create a blank scenario, and then we're going to go back into Unity, start doing some graphic-y kind of stuff, build our actual Unity bundle or project. Okay, so I'll be showing you how to download and get all those bits, and I'm going to be showing you the bare minimum that you need to know to use the Unity Hub or Unity Editor. As I say, I've only used it for a little while, so I'm not going to be showing you remotely everything, but I'm going to show you just what you need to get yourself going. Alright, so I think one of the things I just need to kind of highlight, what I'm going to be going through with everybody here, is that basically what we're going to try and do is solve this problem. See how tiny that little crosshair is? You kind of want something a little bit. So that's what we're going to be doing today. Alright, so it kind of helps to get started with installing Unity itself initially, because that's going to take a long while, and that can kind of happen in the background. Because when you sign up to install Unity, you need to create an account. So you need to give them your email address and create an account on the free kind of Unity tier. So you want to go to this page, and it actually doesn't matter which version of Unity Hub you actually download. I'm working on Windows, obviously, because we're going to end up downloading another version as we go. Alright, so get that started in the background so long. Alright, so the first thing we want to do is we want to create ourselves a blank scenario. So there's a very good tutorial on how to create blank scenarios. I'm going to share the link here. If you subscribe to this project or workshop item, it's going to create a folder. So what you want to do is you want to take this number up here. Okay, you want to go into your Steam. So I don't have like a program file Steam on my SSD drive here, but you're going to have a workshop folder. Okay, you're going to have a content folder, and that's Empyrion Galactic, the game, and then you're going to have all of these blueprints and other bits of content from the store. So you want to take that number, and you want to look for the ID that corresponds to that number, and there it is. For a minute I thought I was not going to find it. Okay, so you know you're in the right place when you can see this graphic over here, and you can see this graphic over here. You know you're in the right place. Alright, so what you want to do is you want to actually copy this folder into your Steam game content folder. So we're going to do that quickly. Let's just go up a folder, copy, and then let's go to our actual game, Empyrion Galactic, content, scenarios. We're going going to paste that in here. Alright, so now what you want to do is you want to give this folder a new name. Okay, I'm going to call it Love Hurts. Okay, so this will be the name of your scenario as it's going to appear in all the game menus and in the workshop. So you can use spaces, etc. You'll notice here I've got other scenarios that I've created, and when you publish your scenario, that'll happen, but that's the name. That you can't change the name anywhere else. So what you do is you go in here, and inside here you'll see, oh wow, there's an instructions file that tells us what we need to do. And it says do exactly what I've just shown you now. Okay, so we've dropped this into our scenarios folder. Now what we want to do is we want to edit the description.txt file. So let's just grab ourselves an editor. Actually, just going to edit this in Notepad, just so that I can keep my little notes on the side. Okay, I'm going to just say this is Love Hurts. Okay, you're a little bit limited in how much text you can fit into this file, but don't really worry too much about that. Okay, the other thing you want to change is this preview JPEG file. I did say you don't need any, well, you do need to know how to use a graphics program. I use paint.net because it allows you to do transparent PNGs. A lot of people will be using something like GIMP. I find GIMP just a little bit OTT for this kind of stuff. You can also use Krita as well. It's another application that I've had a quick squiz at. It seems to work quite well. Anything that can create transparent PNG files nicely for you. So let's just drag that in here. Alright, so we've now got ourselves an image that we can work with. So what we want to do is we want to just draw any old thing on top of this bitmap so that we know, Control Z, that this is the scenario when we see the scenario in our scenario editor. Okay, so there you go. We've got ourselves a little love thing. Alright, so we save that. So what you're going to notice now is this file needs to remain under 1 megabyte, okay? Otherwise your scenario will fail to upload in the game and it's not going to actually tell you why. So a thing that I've found helps a little bit there is to always bring your image down to kind of like about 800 by 450. That's just the sweet spot that I found doesn't do too badly for these images. Then you're less likely to run into troubles with this file going over size. Alright, so there we've saved that. Alright, so we've now got our scenario. So the next thing in our README, it says we need to, in our instructions, it says we need to copy any of our custom.ecf files into the into this folder over here. Okay, so if you're making your own scenario, you do that. I'm not going to cover that now. Okay, then the other thing you need to do is you need to copy all the solar system config.yaml files from your random presets folder. So we go here, we go to random presets, we grab all of these files. Okay, and we go back to our little love hurts over here, and we copy them into the same folder. So we overwrite all of this. Okay, replace place the files in the destination. You'll notice that there were some other folders and other stuff in the source directory there. You don't need to worry about those. It's just these files. Okay. And now we've actually got a scenario that we can actually play in the game itself. Okay, so we can actually run the scenario now, but we're not going to do that yet. We're going to move on to the next little bit, which is setting up our Unity things. So when you've got Unity set up, you're going to get greeted by a screen that basically just says you've got this long-term supported release installed. Okay. I've already installed different versions here. When we add our project, it's going to actually let us do that automatically. You can manually download additional versions into the editor by going to the downloads page, finding the one that you want down here, clicking this little button. It'll share the link into the app, and the app will install the correct version. Alright, so let's go and grab the template project, because we're not going to do all the Unity stuff for ourselves. So that's let's just grab here. Alright, so on the official forums, you want to go to this website. It's worthwhile creating an account here. You can federate and use your existing Steam account to create an account on the forums here. So this thing tells you to download 20.11. You actually want 20.1.13, I think it is, but don't worry about that. It'll fix it up in a second. So that's the download link. Okay, you don't need to worry too much about all of this, but you'll see all of this when you load Unity. So you scroll down just a little bit, and you'll see there's a download link over here. This download link will prompt you. It's some link shortener. It will prompt you to give it the password, which is just above there. So you're going to download this file into your downloads directory, which I have already done. Oh, yeah, there it is. Okay, so when you've downloaded that, you want to open it with your archiver kind of thing. Okay, and you want to extract all of this. Okay, so what we're going to do is we're just going to extract this folder, and I think we're just going to extract it onto our, let's see if we can extract this to our desktop. It'll just make everything a lot easier. Yeah, let's do that. See what happens. This may work, this might not. Do we see a new folder? Here we go. Alright, so there's our new folder. Right, so now what we want to do is we want to open that. So we go into Unity and we go to projects. This will be blank. Alright, you don't want to create a new project, you just want to import something. Alright, so I'll go to my desktop and you'll see there's the project. I can just go in there and I can just say select, and voila. The first time you actually try to open this project, I'm going to just open it so long, it will actually start downloading the correct version of Unity for you in the background anyway. Alright, so now Unity is busy doing its thing. This will take quite a while. Alright, so Unity is doing an update check, which is not very convenient right now, so I might just trim this bit of video out. Alright, so when it finishes loading, you should see a screen like this, and you'll start to see these familiar kind of things. Alright. So what you need to do, don't really get lost in all of the curious and weird and wonderful things. Sorry. Just change my display arrangement so the text is bigger so you guys can see what's going on. So we're not using that little bit of panels up here. So what you want to do is you want to go in here, you want to create a new folder, call it Crosshairs. Alright, and in there we're going to create a new folder and we're going to call it we're going to call it Love Hurts. Alright. And this is where we're going to drag our images into this little folder over here once we go. So let's do that. So let's go to Google Images, heart. We want a heart shape, don't we? And we want Google to give us we want images, yeah. And the image tools, we want a black and white image, and we want small images. So we find one that we like. Maybe that one works quite well. So we go to copy. So the next thing, I'm assuming you're familiar with using your Paint program, and you know all the hotkeys for doing things. I'm not going to teach you all of that stuff. Okay, so if you've downloaded a transparent PNG already, just be aware that very often the transparent background won't actually be transparent, or the alpha channel might not be fully transparent. I grabbed a couple of PNGs and they weren't actually transparent. So select the background. I'm using the magic tool over here. Let's just get our highlighty cursor so you can see what I'm doing. Back. So we grab that, grab the background, remove the background. Alright. Let's just zoom this a little bit. Okay. How big is this image? So the next thing we want to do is we want to resize this. So I'm gonna go with 64 by 64 because it'll give you a nice big fat cursor. I'd suggest 32 by 32 is the best size for drawing cursors, but for this I'm going to do that. The next thing you need to do is you need to change the resizing and scaling to not anti-alias any graphics, because at this kind of scale you're just going to get blurry edges. Okay, and that's going to mess with your alpha channel again as well, or your transparency. Right, so here I have my graphic. I'm going to make this do something slightly kind of more kind of first person shooter gamey. So let's just copy that and let's add another layer to our image. We can hide that layer because that's just our scratch. And let's make this a bit smaller and maybe make kind of an aiming thing. There we go. Control C, Control V. There we go. So here's another little tip that you can use while you're doing all of this. Create yourself a layer. Grab the line tool, and on that layer, it'll help if I don't have a selection. Let's just clear the selection. So on that layer, using the line tool, draw yourself something that lets you find the middle. Okay, I'm just going to change that to red, so you can see it. I like paint.net because it's just quite simple to do a lot of this stuff quite easily. So let's go back to our layer here. You can see for example, so I don't quite like what I've done there, so I'm going to just make that a bit bigger so that it comes close to the middle. Oops, that doesn't quite grab that drag area. It's slightly got some non-transparent pixels in it, so that's kind of messing with me a bit here. Alright, so what we're going to have to do is we're going to create 3 different cursors or aiming reticules, okay, and they're all going to be this size. So let me take you through the process of actually creating these, because there's another trick I do need to show you once you're happy with your graphic. Okay, and that is, so we don't need that anymore. Okay, so what I've found works best is to use the Magic Wand tool, grab the background, kind of tweak the tolerance so you get all the pixels you want. Okay, make sure you've cleaned the background. Then, depending on which way around you like to do it, I like to grab the background and then invert the the selector and then fill it in. Sorry, I've got the transparency, there's extra transparency plugin you can get for paint.net, and it kind of messes it a little bit. So you want to make it all completely black inside that inverted mask that I've created there. So obviously you can use the pencil icon to tweak this image a little bit. Okay, so now we've got a entirely black image, and we can actually save that. So we want to save it as a PNG file. Okay, and I'm going to save it as a so we want to save it in that directory that we've got here, that we created a second or two ago. Alright, so let's just go in there, assets, crosshairs, love hurts, and I'm just going to call it untitled for now. So there it is. Alright, so when you're happy that you like what you see here, at least, there's one last thing you do need to do, and that is you need to invert it to white. Okay, because the game will actually invert the cursor for you. So I'm just going to invert it quickly and then save it again. It's kind of hard to see this now, so that's why I leave the inverting kind of right for the end. Right, so now we're in Unity, and we've actually got our image right here. Unity has imported it. Every now and again in Unity you're going to see all sorts of error messages popping up at the bottom here. You kind of want to ignore those. If they cause you trouble, the thing you want to do is just close Unity and restart it, or hit the play button to play things and then hit it again to stop the play. Unity for some reason kind of starts to sort itself out if you do that. Alright, so now we've got our image. So what we need to be doing is we need to be creating, let me grab my cheat sheet over here. So we need to be creating 4 files. Okay, one is going to be called default.png, and that's going to be the normal crosshair, default aiming, default focus, and then we need to create a 4th one that the game requires, otherwise it's not going to work, but you can just copy one of the other 3 into that file. So we're going to be creating 4 files over here. all going to be PNGs, and they're going to kind of look like this in Unity. You can turn on a little tick box over here for alpha channel, and when you click on it, it'll now show you the file as it should actually be in the game. Okay, so let's just pause the video here a second. Right, so we're back. I'm hoping you used that break to work a little bit on your graphics and icons, but before we get back to that, we can use this as a chance to just check that our newly created scenario has actually installed itself, or is working, that we can actually use it. So you go into scenarios as you normally do, and you'll see your new scenario over here, and you'll actually see your new artwork over here as well. So let's just choose a... Oh, there we go. That's not a bad one. You don't want to publish your scenario at this point, okay? If you publish your scenario, a thing to remember is people who subscribe to it will get updates every time you make those updates. So you want to test your scenario before you actually publish it, okay? So let's just start this thing. Now that you know how to create a basic template scenario, you can create a config.ecf file. I've got a separate guide that shows how to do that, so you may want to have a look at that. And you can actually do all sorts of exciting things to various settings and parameters in the game. And oh, that's quite loud. So let's try and find a way of landing near the water, and it looks so far as if this scenario seems to work, because we can see our artwork. And just gonna check one more thing here, and that is, oh, there's like a volcanic vent, an underwater vent right here. Because this is the point at which we can actually start to play with the crosshairs and cursors. It does look funky. Let's land in the water just for a laugh. Splash down. Alright, so we equipped ourselves. So I've just modified the start conditions in the game, so you actually can start with a bit of starting equipment. Let's get ourselves up to the surface, and so here you have the default cursor, which is what we're going to change in a minute. So enjoy. Alright. So let's leave that. Oh, let's close that actually. I don't need the music playing all the time. Alright, so if you've been working on your graphics files, then you'll have a couple that you've already set up. So let's alright, so they're all going to go into here, okay? And so let's go back to Unity. Let's open our project again, and I've already got a couple that I've got ready. So let me go and find those quickly. So long, and oh, here we go. And so I explained. Remember, I explained you need 4 files, even though the default ship file doesn't need to. You can just copy one of the others over that. So you've got your 4 files, and you're going to drag them into Unity, like so, and it adds the files. This one we don't need, so we can just get rid of it now. So Unity does a very strange thing. The first file that you drag in, for some reason, it changes the D to an underscore. So you need to fix that. Once again, you can specify that they're all transparent, and they'll now all appear as transparent over here. Okay. And now what you want to do is you want to tell Unity that you're going to create a bundle. So all we need to know is to hit this little button. The developers at Empyrion Studios have added this little button over here, and that'll actually build the bundle. So this is the last step, actually. So I'll show you how to create a bundle. If this tab doesn't appear, once again, either restart Unity when you're clicking on these icons. If it's not appearing, restart Unity, or hit the play and then the stop play button, and then this tab will appear, the properties tab. Okay, so grab one of these, and we're going to create our new scenario. So we go new, and we going. This is a crosshair bundle, so we're going to call it crosshairs. But we want to give it so that's going to be the name of the actual bundle. So it must end in crosshairs, and it's called Love Hurts /. Notice how I've used a / here, not a normal Windowsy /. So that's the only important. That's the only bit that you need to get right. Okay, so you set that, and you say enter. Okay, so that's now set that file, and if I hit build, it's going to build just this graphic, but we want the others as well to also be part of that bundle. So we just go Love Hurts and crosshairs. Right, so now they're all going to show that same path regardless of which one I'm clicking on. Okay, and all I do is I hit build bundles, and after a little while, I'm in play mode, so I need to exit play mode. So set build bundles. First time this runs, like now, it'll take quite a while to run. And there we go, that's done. So what will now happen is in here, in our file, we're going to have bundles. And you'll notice that I've got a little folder called Love Hurts, which corresponds with the this part of the folder name that I created over there. Oops, sorry. And then underneath that, I've got these two files. These are the two files we want. So let's do this now. Let's grab these two files, copy. Let's go to our Steam Love Hurts scenario. Okay, remember this is our scenario over here. Go there, and we create a directory called shared data bundles, and in here is where we drop the actual file. So Empyrion's actually already updated this template scenario, so you can actually see it already tells you what to do. So I'm just going to paste those two files in here. So this time when we start the game, we'll actually see the new crosshairs. So what are we waiting for? Let's give that a try. Alright, so we should be ready to see if our new graphics are going to appear in our game. So let's load up our game and see if they're there. So one thing I forgot to mention, let me just go back into Unity. Where's that? That's over here. These files that we dropped in to Unity, they're in my little assets folder. Let me just find that again quickly. Yeah, in the assets folder. Crosshairs, Love Hurts. So there are the 4 files. Obviously the ship file you don't need to worry about. You want to edit these files in your editor, not the file that you dragged in, because Unity's made a copy of these files now, and it expects these files to change. Okay, so it doesn't magically know where you grabbed the files from. You need to edit and make changes to these files. After you've changed the file, once again you go back to mtools, build bundles, rebuild the bundle, copy the bundle file again back into your scenario folder, and your graphic will change. But yeah, you need to edit this graphic, not the one that you originally started working on in your paint program. Alright, so here we are, and voila, that works. Ooh, well, okay, let's go and grab the rest of our kit. Let's just turn that off. Let's go find the rest of our equipment. So there we go, there's our crosshair that we get. Let's just collect all of our gear. And so when you're in range of something, if you've got a weapon for example, it turns red. When you're out of range it's white. And obviously if you have the hand tool, let's turn on our jetpack. Let's go and explore this place. Ah, okay. Wow, okay. Oh, there you have it. Enjoy your own crosshair. Oh, there we go. You see there's the new love heart. Enjoy your own. See if this is out of range or not. At the end, yeah it is. Cool. Cheers.